Hi, this is Gary. Welcome to today's video. So today we've got another unenveloping. Remember, it's not a box, therefore it's an envelope. In here, I've got another pen from China. Now, I'm looking forward to this because, well, A, I know what should be in it, but when it arrived, it's really weird because it feels like there's a really hard box inside the envelope. So I'm actually interested to see what it is. Well, I'm looking forward to unboxing this one. Why not join me down on the mat? Let's get into this envelope. We'll take a look at the pen, we'll ink it up, and then we'll do a writing sample. So here we are down on the mat. I've already cut the end off the envelope. I didn't take a peek. Honest, you've got to trust me on that one. So let's take a look. What have we got? So let's take out this hard looking box. So here it comes. So this is a clear box, and this is what I was feeling. Looks like there's a crack in the bottom there. That's a shame. But really nicely packaged. And I only paid 24 Australian dollars for this pen, so really actually quite surprised how well packaged it is. Just going to fetch my scissors and I'm going to snip off this. So there we are. I've taken off the thing that was holding it together. And then let's get into the box. So here we go. I managed to put it upside down. That's typical of Gary, but never mind. We're getting there. So I've taken the lid off and there's another holder here. So this really well packaged, this pen. So that just pulls out and that holder, well, it'll slip off. There we go. It's out of the way. And we're left now with the plastic bag. Let's just take that easily off. And that reveals this glorious pen. Let's just fetch my pebble in there. So this pen is a Kaigelu 316 and it's in the yellow colour. And wow, it looks really nice, doesn't it? I hope it comes over on camera how nice this looks. I mean, we're going to just jump straight in and look at this colour. So we've got some greens in there. We've got whites, like a pearly type white. Really nice. And it's going all the way from the top of the cap all the way down through the barrel. Looks so nice. Just going to quickly spin it around before we start looking at this in any more details. So this is a pen I ordered from AliExpress. So on AliExpress, they like to really put the keywords in the titles. So the title of this purchase is a Kaigelu 316 Celluloid Nature Calligraphy Fountain Pen, Xylonite Daily Screw Cap Gift Office Business Colourful Marble. What a mouthful, isn't it? But it's worth it for this pen. Now, this is the first of these that I've had. I do have some similar looking pens, which I'll fetch in a couple of minutes. But yes, so far, really like the look of this. It looks really nice to the eye. So let's have a bit of a walk through. So at the top here, let me see if I can get the camera to focus on this. The logo one here is a kangaroo. Now, I've got to be honest, I think if it's a kangaroo, you'd expect it to be an Australian pen. It's not. It's Chinese. I don't know why they've decided to do that. It could be Kaigelu maybe has something to do with kangaroo, but it's a nice little touch. It's quite a nice little logo. And then we've got that circle going around it. So here then, this is black plastic, and it's got a bit of a taper until it comes down here to the clip. Now this is a gold coloured clip. Just let me twist that slightly so you can see it. The clip, it's fairly stiff. As I said, let's just look at this cap. The cap is the same width all the way down, and you can see here that it's beautiful. Now I'm seeing around here, I'm seeing a band, which no, it's not to do with what's inside. It looks like it's a band where two sections may have been joined together. That's a shame. That lets it down a little bit because, you know, that's so obvious and in your face. Is it going to detract from the overall beauty of the pen? I don't think so. It's just something that it's really coming out and I'm really seeing. I'm going to slowly take the cap off. So how many turns to take off the cap? There's half. There's one. There's 1.5. 1 3/4. 2. 2 1/4, 2.5, 2 3/4 turns. That's a lot of turns to take off the cap. But let's take this cap off and let's see the business end. Here we go. Here's the nib. Now this nib, it's absolutely glorious to look at. So it's two-toned We've got the logo of the kangaroo. That's in the gold colour. Beneath that, we've got some writing. We've got a gold band running along the sides of the nib, and then with that silver coloured band on the outside of that. A really nice looking nib on this. Not sure, I think it's a smallish nib. That's something I'll need to look at for my longer term reviews. So from the nib, we're coming into the section. So we've got a gold band at the end here. Then we've got a small black section. The section, it's got a lip at the end here. It's not overly big, so I don't think that's going to be too distracting with how I hold my fingers. If I put it in my hand, well, yeah, that's quite nice. I think I could use that unposted. It does post, but it's very wobbly, so I don't think I will be using it posted, but it's worth knowing. So the section, we come on up, we've got another gold band here. Then we go into the threads. The threads, I can hardly feel them, so that's not too bad. Then we come down into the body. As I said earlier, wow, what a gorgeous looking colour. Again, I'm going to spin that through around. I don't know if it's coming over on the camera. There is some translucency here, so I can actually see through and I can see the converter that's inside. Let's just spin this round. Look at the way that we're getting some of that. Is it chatoyance? You know, here, I don't know if, again, if you can see it. It's really reflecting the light lovely. But saying that, I do have very bright lights in here. So it might not be something that I see in normal day-to-day use, but again, it's something for me to follow up on. I just love this. I love the green. I can see why they call it a low, because that does remind me very much of a low products. And that pearly white, wow, it's just really gorgeous. So the barrel, it seems to be the same width all the way down. We've got another gold band here, and then we just got this black end cap, which is fixed. Let's unscrew the section. So we've got a metal liner there, and then that comes to the included converter. This converter, you know, it's just a standard one. I think that says Kaigelu. So yeah, I've just popped that up. It does say Kaigelu going around this metal cap. Converter seems fairly smooth. One of the things, and I'm being very picky here, this is very long, so you don't really get to see much of the converter. So it's going to be a bit of a nuisance when I want to check on ink levels, because you've only got this little bit at the top here where you can actually see through it. It'd be nice if this was maybe half the length, but again, I paid $24 for it. What do I expect? You know, it's functional. Well, we hope it is. We won't know until we write with it, but certainly it's not going to stop me from using this pen. Let's pop that back together. And let's pop the cap on with its nearly 3 turns to put on there. I like here the look of these gold bands on the cap. You know, it's got, they're gold coloured. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if they were gold? I mean, I'm not daft, they're not. And it looks like it's got that little bit of black in the middle, which actually ties really well with both the ends, which are black. I'm just going to fetch in some other pens to look at. So let me move that out of the way. So there's a Kaigelu. So this is very reminiscent of a Parker Duofold, and I've got a couple of other Parker Duofold inspired pens. Let's just fetch a couple in to look at. You know, here we are. This is a Jinhao 100. Let me line these bottoms up. There we go. Well, the Jinhao 100 it looks a little bit longer. The other one I'm going to fetch in is a Moonman M600S. So again, let me just line them up as well as I can. This Moonman looks slightly longer again. All three are really nice looking pens. Let's take a look with the caps off. You know, you can really see the difference there. The Moonman M600S, that looks like it's a number 6 nib. So a lot bigger looking than both the Jinhao and the Kaigelu. But that's fine. Again, each pen has got its own little bit of character. So what matters is how it writes, which we'll see in a few minutes. Of the 3 nibs, I actually prefer the look of the Jinhao 100. I like the gold background with the silver inlay, as opposed to on the Kaigelu, which is the silver background with the gold coloured inlay. But again, it's fine, they're different manufacturers. The sections look very similar across all three pens, roughly the same size and roughly the same shape. On the Moonman, the bands are a little bit wider, but that seems to be the only difference. Three very similar looking pens. They all look beautiful in their own right. And of the three, yeah, this is nice and bright. I love the colour on the Moonman. But similarly with the Jinhao one is very understated, but it's got some interest in it. Whereas, yes, the Kaigelu, it's a bit more in your face, but again, depends what you want to use it for. So let's pop the caps back on. Let's take one last look at all these three pens together. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to step away from the camera, going to give the pen a good clean through. When I come back, we'll look at the ink, we'll do a writing sample, and then I'll give you my first impressions of the entire pen. So here I am back. The ink I'm going to use today is by Diamine, and it's called Soft Mint. Not quite 100% match for the colours in here, but I often find swatches can look a lot darker, so I'm hoping that when I'm actually writing, the ink is that softer colour and may start to look like some of the greens that are coming through from the pen. Really like the look of this on this swatch. I've not used this ink before, so it's going to be interesting to see what it's like. So let's ink up the pen. So here comes the ink. There we go, Soft Mint. Just take that top off. And here goes with the pen. You know, wow, it takes a lot to take that off. Taking off the body. Okay, so here we go. In goes the pen. Let's hope it fits. And up comes the plunger. Wow. Down again. And for that second fill to give me hopefully a nice full converter. Just gently shake that off. Wipe the excess ink off before it goes all over my hand. And yes, there's a reasonably good fill. So let's pop the pen back together, get the ink out of the way before it ends up being spilt all over my counter. And let's just drive this round to the side. So let's fetch in the paper. Here we go. This paper, it's by Oxford. It's a really nice fountain pen friendly paper. It's the one that I generally tend to use when I'm doing my reviews, just so that I've got the consistency of the paper. So let's take a look. So what have we got here? We have got a Kaigelu 316. It's the low colour. The nib is a medium. I was glad I was able to get medium. A lot of the time, the stuff that you get from AliExpress, they only seem to do extra fine and fine. And I tend to prefer the wider type nibs. So yeah, I was really pleased. And as soon as I saw it was a medium, that was a quick, yeah, let's get that one. The ink. Diamine. I'm never sure how to pronounce that. Soft Mint. Let's pop that cap back on. Yeah, that's actually not a bad match for the pen. The ink, yes, it's a little bit darker, that's fine. Now, in my writing here, you see I had a problem with the K. That's the first time I've written with this pen, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. It's something I will watch for in future if there is any hard starts with it. But for the first time writing, I'm not overly fussed. Liking it so far. Let's take a look at the drying times. So immediately. That's quite wet, isn't it? Gonna wait 10 seconds. That's still fairly wet. We'll wait for 30 seconds. So after 30 seconds, it's drying off now, but it's still a lot wetter than what I would like to see. The last test then, we'll leave it for 1 minute. So after a minute, well, that's surprising. It's actually nice and dry. So this ink, although I wouldn't be using it if I was going to be writing loads and loads of pages, because I do think it is a slightly longish drying time, I'd still be happy to use it for note taking, but where I've got enough time between pages to leave it to dry. I mean, yes, I've got my blotting paper I can use, but I don't like to use that if I can avoid it. For the next test, I'll move the mic as close as I can to the paper so that you can hear it right. I hope you could hear that. There was definitely some noise coming off the pen, so I could hear it writing, but it felt like I was writing on glass. It is so smooth. There's next to no physical feedback coming through the pen to let you know that it's on the paper. That's something I'm not 100% certain how much I like it. I don't really dislike it, but I do like to be able to feel a pen when I'm writing with it. I do like to be able to feel that little bit of feedback. And that's definitely not present in this pen. Now, it may be I could introduce that by taking some micro mesh or something to the nib. Not certain if I'm going to do that because it does seem to write nicely otherwise. My next test, writing with no pressure. So here's the pen just laying in my hand. As you can see, unposted, it's quite a reasonable size. And I'm just going to let this glide across the paper so we can see, it started off nice, but then it's gone off. So I think you do need to have that little bit of pressure when you're writing. But other than that, yeah, quite nice writing experience. Let me just fetch that pen back in. So this is the Kaigelu 316 in the low colour. It's got a medium nib. The pen, it's a duofold clone. I mean, it looks similar to all the other duofold clones. It writes nice. The nib is a little bit on the small side. I think if it had been more like that Moonman M600S with that larger nib, it would have looked a little bit better. But it's not enough to really say it looks bad. Writing wise, I do keep saying this. The whole idea of a pen is to let you get the ideas out of your head and onto paper. This pen does that. It's a nice writer. It's a bit too smooth for me, but that's something that I can work on. And it could be as I write with it and as I get used to working with this instrument, it might slightly change. So yeah, long term, I need to look at that. But so far, I love the looks. I absolutely love the colouring of this pen. I love the green. I love the pearls. It looks amazing is all I can really say. Yep, writing's fine. Looking forward to spending more time with this pen and getting to know it better. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Have you got this pen? What are your thoughts about it? Is it a pen you're interested in getting? Why not drop a comment down below? Let's kickstart that conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button, give the video a like. Every time you like or comment on a video, well, it just helps the YouTube algorithm so other people get to see my content. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.